Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Select Generation podcast. Very special podcast today. I'm joined by Dave from Carolina Hooligans, who are I'll let you introduce who you are and what you do, but excited to get into the conversation about soccer, Dave's background, what he's interested in, what he's a part of, and just sort of get going and have a good soccer chat. So, yeah, Dave, I'll let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you do, who you're involved with, and then we'll get into it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm David. I'm with the Yeti Clan. That's the media outlet page that I run myself. The supporter group that I'm in is the Carolina Hooligans. I also make content for them. I'm the content creator for their supporter group. So it's just fun making content for Charlotte FC all around.
That's awesome, man. So, Dave, tell us about like why you are where you are. Like, did you play soccer growing up? Like, what's your soccer background?
Oh yeah, for sure. Grew up playing soccer, love soccer. I actually grew up I here in North Carolina, but I played in South Carolina. I pretty much played travel ball all through high school, middle school, high school. I played for a team called Discovery Soccer Club. Got a lot of exposure out there. I got a lot of playing time. Did a little bit of ODP as well. It was a fun. It was a fun experience doing all that stuff. But unfortunately I broke my leg twice my senior year, so that's what stop me from keep on going.
Yeah, right. So did you go to college then?
But I went to a community college.
Okay. Um, so obviously Charlotte FC is pretty new. I think this is the third year. What was your kind of reaction when it was announced that Charlotte FC was getting an MLS team?
Oh, it was unreal. I was super excited. I was like, it's about damn time. Like growing up in North Carolina, soccer wasn't really much a thing when I was growing up. It was getting there. But then when Charlotte FC, like you saw like the rumors and stuff like that, you heard about it and you could just feel like soccer getting more exposure here and there. And then finally when Charlotte FC came around, it was surreal. Like the fact that we had 75,000 people for that home opener match, it was just amazing. It's crazy how one sport can bring so many people together in a community that you didn't even know that existed.
Yeah. No, it was at that game against Galaxy. That was crazy. We got me and my friends got into the box, and it was an awesome experience. That was so cool. So how did you sort of start your like fan group or your media? Like, how did you start it? Did you get involved? Did you get asked to join? Like, what's the
Yeah.
story about
So the way we really got started was pretty much the first year me and my brother just started going to the games, and we had front row tickets for that very home opening game. And our parents were like, take something so we can see you on TV if we could see you. And we were like thinking of things that we could take to the game so that way they could see us. But we were like, everybody's gonna have a scarf, everybody's gonna have a flag. What can set us aside so they could see us? And we've always had whenever we were younger, we had a video game organization where we played competitive video games, mainly FIFA. And then, but our group was called Yeti Clan, which was the Bigfoot. So we took a Bigfoot cutout, slapped a bunch of Charlotte stickers on it, and we were like, just look for the Yeti. And then that first game, we were just getting message after message. Our parents were taking pictures of us on TV because they could see the Yeti. And then we just kept taking it to the games, like just kept doing that. And then people were like, "Oh, that's the Yeti boys. That's the Yeti clan." So year two comes by, and then I was just like, I actually got the opportunity to be capo for Charlotte FC, like lead the supporter groups and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. And then I just had the idea of like making game day vlogs so that way people could see what I see on game days, but also get insight of like if you've never been to the game, this is what it is. This is how we do it. Because me personally, I come from a Mexican background and we're very passionate about our soccer. Like we're there 90 minutes chanting if we're winning, if we're losing. Like we're real passionate about our football.
Yeah, man. No, I know that. The Charlotte FC fans are arguably one of the best in the league. I think last year was the highest average attendance, and I mean they're bouncing around. It's a great atmosphere. So most of our listeners, Dave, are sort of players. So from your perspective, obviously, you probably had a really tough time from breaking your leg, not being able to play, and then you sort of turned into being a fan. Like, do you think that your love for soccer is kind of has changed since your injury, or? like what was your sort of feeling towards the get? Like, were you a fan before your injury? Are you like more of a fan because you don't play now? Like, how was your relationship with soccer before and after kind of your injury?
No, I've always loved soccer. Like even when I was playing, if I wasn't playing, I was playing video games, which was FIFA. And if not, I was watching soccer on TV. My favorite team is Chelsea. If they're not playing, I'm watching Club America, which is in Mexico. And if not, I'm watching Charlotte FC now. But back then in the MLS, if I'm being honest, I was a fan of the Real Salt Lake. I have a brother out in Utah, and he likes Real Salt Lake. But I've always been a student of the game, love watching the different techniques. And that was mainly my thing because growing up, I was a goalkeeper. So like watching and seeing like different scenarios, that's something that helped me as a goalkeeper understand the where positioning to be, how strikers and the like where their position is going to be. That helped me a lot to understand like where I needed to be, what they do, and like those runs in behind that they make, understand that a little bit better so I could be prepared whenever it was my time.
Got it, got it. Awesome. Um, so from your, do you have any relation with the players? Like, do you ever go and interview the players? Do the players message you for podcasts? Like, what's your kind of relationship with the Charlotte FC players?
Yeah, so sometimes I don't, they haven't hit me up to be on a podcast. It's typically the other way around. We'll hit them up, but I definitely have interviewed some. One that was more exciting for me last year was getting to interview Nimfasha Berchimas. He got his first game with the Crown Legacy. I was there. I got to record his first goal right after the game. I got to interview him, ask him what he felt, what happened, explain us through the goal. That was one of my favorites. But like typically on average, after the games, we get to go get to do media and we get to talk to whoever they let us speak to after the game. Usually it's man of the match, Captain Ashley Westwood, and typically the striker Enzo Copetti. And Copetti's a good friend of ours. I actually get we got the same barber. We both get our haircut at the same place. So it's
Nice, man. That's
fun
sweet.
little fact.
That's cool. So from, being involved with the players, from talking to the players, what do you think, for example, I mean, I'm sure you would have wanted to play college soccer. I'm sure you played high school soccer, obviously. So what do you think is the difference between playing high school club soccer and then playing for Charlotte FC and making it to the MLS? Like, what are some of the differences you think between the levels in terms of, I'm a player, I want to go play the MLS. Like, what qualities or traits do I need to have?
Yeah, from my expect like me from the outside in, it's definitely the speed of play and you got to be a little more aggressive on the ball. People are a little soft. You can't be soft. That's two of the main things that stood out with me: the speed of play, and you got to be strong on the ball because them boys are coming hard. Even if it's practice, they're coming at you hard. Because the main thing that I've always heard when I was growing up was practice how you want to play, and if you put in that work, there's people that are working their ass off in practice, so that way when it's come game time, it's natural for them. It's easy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, practice how you play is definitely one of the biggest things. I mean, for you as a fan watching the games, like, what do you enjoy about the game day experience? Like, what's your favorite part about going to the Charlotte FC games?
What do I not like about the Charlotte FC games? I love it all. Like literally when we get to the tailgate, pulling up to the hooligan tailgate, having fun, seeing all this what we like to call La Familia, which is family in Spanish. We just have such a togetherness and at the tailgate, and then the supporters march. That's another thing that I really enjoy. You get the drums going. You got everybody marching together to the stadium. You got smoke bombs going off. You got people dancing in the street. Then we go under the bridge and we have like our little like drum solo per se under the bridge. It's just a fun experience with the walk to the stadium. And then when you get into the stadium, it's just a whole nother feel, especially like those days where it was like 75,000 and home opener against LA, 63,000 for Messi, which was crazy. We beat them 1-0. That was surreal. I actually got the capo the second half and being on that capo stand and seeing everybody, like the top row and then the whole supporter section full of people just chanting their heart out. It's just a surreal feeling. I loved it. It's just one of the greatest experiences, honestly.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's really cool. Um, from you know, a perspective, obviously you're really involved with the fans, you're really involved with the club, you love it. If you weren't a Charlotte FC hooligan, how would you spend your Saturdays?
If I was a Charlotte SC hooligan, If didn't do any soccer at all, or is it just like if there wasn't no Charlotte FC?
Yeah, if there wasn't, if you weren't really like a crazy soccer fan, what would you do?
To be honest, I'd be probably spending my Saturdays playing and right behind me playing video games, some FIFA, Call of Duty, something like that, maybe some Fortnite. I actually have my own media company as well, marketing company where like I help local businesses like run their Instagram accounts. So that's I probably focus that a little more.
Nice, man. So
Yeah.
so for like someone who's interested in being a soccer fan, being a Charlotte FC fan, someone that, is interested in coming to the games, like what would you tell that person?
Come on, come to the tailgate, do it. Bring your family. You're not gonna regret it. Even if we lose, the match day experience is so different because I've been to the other stadiums, but like here in Charlotte, the match day experience is something else. You want to experience the tailgate, you want to do the supporters march, you want to be inside that supporter section going crazy with all the supporter groups. It's an awesome feeling to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, for you, like, so in terms of like advice for players, if you were giving it advice, well, actually, let's talk. So, have you been to the Crown Legacy FC games, right?
Yes, yes.
So, what is the difference between, from your experience, from MLS Next Pro Crown Legacy to the MLS? Like, what differences do you see between the sort of the development team, the MLS Next Pro team, and the first team?
Um, Mainly honestly, last year, if we were talking between Charlotte FC and Crown Legacy, the Legacy team looked a lot better. They they had a more stability. They had more structure to them because the first team was actually struggling a little bit. We had players playing out of position. We had an interim coach who turned into a head coach, but the style of play is just a little bit different because you can tell that those players are still like finding their feet a little bit. Like Nimfasha Berhimas, you could tell the difference. Like you could tell he's a little bit past those players, but it's also like he's not ready for that first team yet. But then you have people like Patrick Ajiman who stand out when they play for the Legacy, and then they still do their thing whenever they're with the A team. You got Brandon Camridge as well. He balls out whenever he's with the Legacy, and also does very well when he's with the A team. So it's just like it depends on who you're talking about and how and who we play, honestly, because there's some teams that their B team is just as good as their A team.
Yeah, right. And then, in terms of like, what do you think it takes for a player to get called up from Crown Legacy to the first team?
Honestly, right now they have like the ball is in their court because Dean Smith loves young players. He's been known to develop young players. So if they put in the work, they'll get called up because he even said it himself. If they're good enough, they can play. Why
Yeah.
not? He let Ninfasha Berhimas. We saw multiple young players, especially Yuri Tavares, who got his start against I'm losing it right now, but our home opener against New York City FC, Yuri Tavares, I thought he had the goal. He came up from the legacy. Then Ninfasha Berhimas, João Pedro coming in as a sub. Both of those guys are actually from the legacy. Then you also have people like Andrew Privet. Those boys are super young, and then they're starters on the team, and they're key players as well. He's our starter. That's the guy we rely on. Him and Malanda. Those are our two main center backs.
Yeah, yeah. So, for you as a fan, like, what are you looking for in terms of a player? Like, if Charlotte FC signs someone, or if a player has a good game, like, what are you looking for as a fan, from a player's performance? Like, are you looking at the technical ability? Are you looking at their sort of work rate, how much they care, how much they run, how much they tackle? Are you looking for players that just, score goals and help you win the game? Like, for you as a fan, what do you like in a player?
Me personally, I like a player that shows a bit of character, who shows that he's out there to fight. Like, for example, not a lot of people are a fan of him, but I'm a huge fan. Enzo Copetti. He's had a bit of a unfortunate luck at the start of the season, but that's one of those players that he's going to bring it. He's running off and on the ball. He's making those plays. If he doesn't do good on the first ball, he's working hard to get to the second one. And then he's not one of those. If he misses that chance, yeah, he's going to beat himself up for a little bit, but it's not going to be the rest of the match. He's going to pick himself up and he's going to keep going, keep trying. That's the type of people that I like. But if we're talking about like People like Ashley Westwood. I like those people who are barking out orders, looking around, always has their head on a swivel, ready to like they know what's next. They're leading, they're giving out instructions. I like for our goalkeepers to do that as well. Kalina does a good job of that as well, controlling the back line because you can see whenever he plays, there's a different confidence within our back line. So that's what I look for in a player.
Got it. And then, so Dave, did you ever think about playing college soccer like before you got injured?
Yeah, so I actually did have it wasn't like it was a small scholarship to go to Mid-Atlantic University to play for them. But when I broke my leg twice, I broke my leg at the beginning of the year and then recovering back towards the end of the year, broke my leg again, kind of going into like the new year. So it was kind of heartbreaking to say at least.
Yeah, right. So talk to us a little bit about your college soccer journey. I mean, obviously ended pretty soon, but like were you going to camps? Were you going to like were you sending out your highlight reel, going to showcases? Like were you pursuing college soccer?
Yeah. So I was actually trying. Luckily, with the travel team that I was with, Discovery Soccer Club, they supported us a lot. They also got us a lot of exposures. I went to a lot of camps for them. And that was mainly my focus. Like when with our high school team wasn't like a big high school team. It was just a small D3 team. But that was why I mainly focused on the Discovery Soccer team. That was my main focus. I did all through that, but I would definitely try to pursue it. I sent in highlight reels. I did them all myself because like even when I was in high school, I loved making content, just like creating videos and stuff like that. But I was definitely sending them out to coaches, emailing them myself, um, going to the games, trying to see if I could talk to the coaches in person. Like I went to a couple Appalachian games. I went to a couple UNCC games just to see if I could get to talk to somebody, get to know somebody, you know. And unfortunately, I was cut short by an injury.
So yeah, like I said, a lot of our players, a lot of our listeners are kind of like 16, 17, 18, trying to pursue like sort of college pro soccer. What what advice would you give to a player that's like sophomore, junior, senior in high school that wants to play college soccer, hasn't really started the process? Any sort of tips or any advice you would give that player?
Yeah. Start. I get somebody to record their games. If your school isn't recording it, start recording it yourself. There's little bits here and there that you like of yourself. Get that clip and just make a little montage of it. And it's not gonna hurt you to just email that coach or email the athletic department saying, "Hey, I'm interested in playing for your team. What's the next thing that I got to do?" Just get yourself out there. Don't be nervous. That was one thing that I had to get past was that nervousness of hitting somebody random up that I had no idea who has no clue who I am. Just getting past that. Once I got past that, I was hitting everybody up. I was sending my montage like it was nothing to everybody. So just getting past that nervousness of getting yourself out there and just doing it and then working hard. That's all you got to do. Be focused, work hard, don't get distracted. I know parties and stuff and all that is cool, but when it's game time, it's game time. If you got a goal, work hard to get it.
Nice. That's some really good advice. And yeah, I mean, similarly, in terms of the college process, some advice you just gave. Um, what about for, a player who wants to go and play pro soccer, wants to go and play for Charlotte FC? Like from obviously you've been heavily involved in watching the MLS Next Pro Crown Legacy, you've been watching the first team. What advice would you give to a player that wants to play for Charlotte FC first team?
If you're not playing travel ball or if you're not playing college ball already, try to get into the academy. The academy is huge, especially with Charlotte FC. We've seen a lot of development with the Charlotte FC academy. Ninfasha Bergimas, Brian Romero, both of those players came from the academy, went into the Crown Legacy, and were our first two homegrown signings for Charlotte FC. There's a lot, and I know it might be different from every state and all, but like try to get involved in try to travel ball or some type of academy that you can get because those academies they've been growing in the past few years and they do really good to get those players developed into the B team as well. Then that's pretty much it. Like if you're not already in the college level and getting that exposure, try to get into the academy. That academy will get you, it will get you far. Those players and they're all fighting for the same reason. They want to get to that legacy and then they want to get to the A team. And they know it's a process and they're working hard to do it. Those boys, if you have never been to an academy game, those boys play their heart out. I love the way they play.
Yeah, well, that's what was going to be my question. Like, for someone that's like, okay, I don't want to play like Crown Legacy, like I don't want to play MLS Next Pro. I want to play for the first team. Like, what would you tell that player about sort of the environment at Crown Legacy, how it is? Like, yeah, I mean, for someone that's kind of overlooking that doesn't think that's good enough, that they want to jump straight to the first team, like how would you kind of talk to that person?
And yeah, it's gonna come as a reality check. Like there's levels to it, and then you just like unless you're amazing, absolutely Ronaldo or Messi, like it's probably not gonna happen because like there's a development program, and they want to assure you that you get that development that you deserve. Unless, like I said, like if you're just really good and you're that guy that you're ready for it, those people are gonna make sure that they develop you, they figure out what you're good at, what you need to improve on. So by the time whenever you get to that A team, you're good. You're ready to go. You have that mental stability. You have that knowledge of the game. You're ready to go.
Right. Good. Dave, I think that's it from me.
All right.
Great to chat, man. I mean, Charlotte FC's is my MLS team. I was living in Charlotte when they founded the team. I did my undergrad in Charlotte. Charlotte was the first place that I was in the US living. So love the team. I'll be back there this summer and I'll hit you up and we'll go to a game together.
Definitely, man. Hit me up. We'll tailgate together. We'll meet up inside the stadium. I probably won't be in the supporter section this time because I'm doing media, so I'm on the pitch taking pictures and videos. So, but we'll definitely meet up, bro. We'll hang out at the tailgate. I don't know. Who knows? I might even capo that game because I still do that every now and then. So,
Awesome. Dave, great to speak and I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you having.